Hi, I'm Amir from Centroid, and in this video we'll be going over the TR6, and we'll be going over how to use it and everything that should be included in your package. So we'll start with the power connector. So this is what will actually be used to charge your TR6. It's two parts. You simply connect it in. One end goes to the wall and the other one will go to the unit. And I'll show you where to connect that later. Next we have this USB cable, Type A to Type A male. And that's used for firmware upgrades. If there ever needs to be a software upgrade on your unit, you would use this cable, connect to your computer, and then update the software. Next, we have these two here, which is simply a charger for the tablet. Here we have a micro SD card adapter. So if ever case you need to recover some data on the unit, you would remove the micro SD card and connect it to this adapter to retrieve that data. Over here, we have the temperature probe. So you would connect this to the unit, which I'll show you after as well. And this will give you temperature and humidity readings. It will actually take readings from this end. So wherever you want to capture those readings, just be sure to point this towards there. Next, we have with me a 1/4-inch tube with a carbon filter. So you'll actually be using this to zero the sensor, which I'll show you how to do later. And lastly, we have with me a tablet. And this is what you'll use to record and view data. And that's everything that should be included with your package. So next, I'm going to go over all the components on the TR6. So to turn the unit on and off, you want to lift up these two flaps, and you'll have access to the on-off switch. So when you turn it on, you'll hear the pump go on briefly, and you'll see this LED turn on. So we'll do that now. So that's how you know the unit's turned on. Underneath that, we have this USB cable, and that's, as I mentioned previously, it's for firmware upgrades on the unit. Most likely, you won't need to do any firmware upgrades, but if it's ever needed, it would be through here. So then I'll close that. Next, we have on this side, that's the port, the PM port. So all your PM data will be sampled through this port here and exhausted through the bottom. So if you're ever in an area where you're measuring PM, it'll be done through here, and then the gas sensors will be measured, which I'll show over here. The gas sensors will be measured through these ports. So we have an inlet and an outlet. Air is being pumped in through a pump through the inlet and exhausted through this port here. So next, on this other side, which I'll show you now, you'll have the charging port and the temperature and humidity probe. So I'll show you how to connect each one now. So for the power adapter, you'll just bring in this end here and connect that there. And that's what you'll do for charging the battery inside of the TR6. And I'm going to remove that. And so next is the temperature probe. So you want to remove the cap. I'll do that now. And then you want to grab your temperature probe. So this is a 4-pin bayonet locking connector. So what you want to do is align the notches together and put it in. So I'll do that now. And then what you want to do is make sure it's fully inserted. You pull the bayonet down and then you twist it to lock. So my unit's locked now, and now it's not going to come off. So now your temperature probe is connected. And that's basically everything inside of your TR6. Now I'm going to show you how to actually take measurements and samples with your TR6. So the first thing we're going to want to do is turn the unit on. So simply flip this switch. The pump turned on, and the LED is green. We know everything's working. So the next thing we're going to want to do is connect our carbon filter. So the reason we want to connect our carbon filter is so that we can zero the sensors before we use them. And it's a very important step in using this instrument. So you have your PTFE tube here, and you have your carbon filter here. So what you want to do is locate the part that says out. So you follow the arrow. You would connect your tube going to this end. So this is a push to connect fitting. So you would basically push it until you feel a little click. I felt it there. And now I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to want to connect to the inlet. So we're going to connect this side to the inlet here and push it in all the way. And we also want to make sure that our temperature probe is connected, which we connected earlier. So the unit is on, we have our carbon filter connected to the inlet, and we have a temperature probe on. Now what we're going to want to do is turn on our tablet, and we're going to want to connect to the app. So now we want to connect to our TR6, and since we have our carbon filter already connected, we're ready to do a zeroing of the sensors. So first let's start by connecting to the TR6. So we hit connect, and now we want to look for the serial number of the unit. So we see it here. Let's connect to that. So now it's going to ask us if our sensors have already been warmed up. So this is an important step before you actually do the calibration. On this unit, you want to make sure that the sensors have been warmed up for 20 minutes. And we've already pre-done that. So we're going to go ahead and hit dismiss, and we're going to hit recalibrate. So this is going to basically pull air through the carbon filter, and it's going to re-zero the sensors, and it's an important step of using the unit. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, now we wait. Okay, so now that our zeroing is done, we're ready to start taking samples. So first thing you want to do is select a project or create a project. So basically what a project is, it's just the name of the grouping that you're going to collect samples with. So for this test, I'm going to call it Office Test 1, but you can name it whatever you like. Okay, now you want to select the type of project. So there's two types of projects, manual and automatic, which you'll see here. So for manual, it means you manually start and stop the sampling. And automatic means you can set it so that you can start sampling for 1 minute and then take a break for 10 minutes or whatever you like. It's adjustable through the settings. So in our case, we're just going to do manual, and we're going to hit confirm. So now that we created the project, we're going to select it, Office Test 1. So now to start sampling, you simply just hit start, and you'll start seeing the readings come up on the screen. As you're hearing now, you also hear the pump turn on. And one thing that's important to note is that you're going to want to disconnect the carbon filter once you start sampling. So now you're going to be seeing live readings come up on the screen, and you should be getting a new reading about once every second. So now that we've collected some samples, I'm going to show you how to download the data and to view the data. So if you just wanted to view the data right after you collected it, if you simply go to graph, you just press the graph button here, you can view the data in a graph form. And you can also, if you're just interested, for example, in PM data, you can just select your PM sensors and see the readings this way. Yeah, and you can just select if you want to see just PM1 or just PM10. You can do that as well. Now, if you want to download the data, you would hit records over here. You would select the device, which is the serial number of your unit. And then you can simply go to device records and convert to Excel. And then this will create an Excel file. Oh, let me just select the project, of course. So we're going to select project Office Test 1. And so now we're going to go to convert to Excel. And it's going to prompt you to where you want to save the file and what you want to name it. So I'm going to put it in downloads, and I'm going to call it Office Test 1. So we're going to hit save. And now the file has been created, and then you can share it however you like. If you can email it, you can send it through Bluetooth. You can connect your tablet to the computer and then pull the data that way. Now, if you just want to view data on the tablet itself, once you select the project, you can go to graph and see that graph that we selected earlier. So we just want to select the day that you sampled. Or if you hit map, it'll show you actually the locations of where you sample the data. So this is more useful if you're sampling outdoors. If you're indoors, it'll just show basically that you're in your office, which you'll see here, is that we took samples inside our office. And then if you press on it, you can see the samples for that area as well. So I press on it, and then we can see our values there. Okay, so now I just took you back to the home page. So I'll also show you how to access the sensor settings. So if you press this button here, you have the option to recalibrate again if you wanted to. You can disconnect the device if you want to, or you can go to sensor settings here. And it wants us to select the project, so we'll do that as well. So here we'll see all the sensors, and this page is useful if you want to adjust that automatic pump on and off time, or if you want to just simply view which sensors you have on the unit, or if you're interested in recalibrating the unit, you can also do it through this page as well.
So you can also put AQ alarms. So for example, for CO2, we can set that to 1500, for example. And we'll hit a save and exit. And so now the color will change. As it gets closer to that 1500, the color, as you see, it's green now, but as it gets closer to that 1500, it'll turn to a yellow, and then once it's surpassed it, it'll turn red. So we'll do that right now. And now you'll see that we've exceeded our limit, and it's giving me an audible alarm, which I can turn off now. Okay, and that's basically how you use your TR6. If you have any questions or concerns, you can feel free to email support@centroid.com, or you can reference our user manual. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.